All right, so we are here in an alley. It is super dark, as you can see, but here's what we want to be able to do. We want to be able to take advantage of the ambient that's in the alley. So you can see at the back of the alley, we've got that kind of street lamp going. We don't want to overpower that. We don't want to lose it. We want to embrace it. And so what we're doing is we've got a light dialed down on power. We're dragging our shutter, which means we are photographing this at about 40th of a second. And what that's allowing us to do is drag all this ambient light into the scene so that it looks much more natural. And that's the trick to making a shot like this work. And so we've got our strobe, we've got our octabox, and that's all we're using in the scene, and we are going to create something magical. Now, I do want to point something out. Of course, as we're setting up for this, there's obstacles in this. Behind her, there is a truck that has been parked. I don't want that truck in my shot. I don't want to edit it out in Photoshop. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing her closer to camera. I'm getting a little bit closer to her. I'm using a 7200 to compress and bring that stuff together. And what's gonna happen is her body now is gonna end up blocking that truck. So these are the things that have to be going in your mind so that you're thinking about how to create something epic no matter where you are. I don't wanna do this in Photoshop. I wanna get it right. I wanna have good lighting. I wanna think about my lighting. I wanna think about my scene, and I want to create something epic. So let's do it. All right, so that is a wrap on this scene, but let's talk about this for a second. We were in an alley, and by the way, we got super lucky. The driver of the truck just happened to leave, so it made my life a little bit easier, and I didn't have to use the model's body to block it, but you saw how we were able to do it, right? You've got a situation, find a way to overcome it. But I really want to call to your attention how we were able to use the light, that street lamp behind me, and use that for ambient light in the scene, and use it as a hair light on her, so it really added to the scene. When you're using flash, it's all too easy, you know what I'm talking about, to bring that flash out and just blast it into the scene, overpowering all the ambient light. And to me, that's the sign of an amateur. And what you really want to do is be able to use the light that's in the scene and add to your scene. And that's what we did here. And so the pictures turned out better than I could have possibly hoped for. Look, I'm not going to lie. Most photographers, if they're telling you this, they're full of it, all right? So when we got on this scene, I did not know what to expect from that street light in the background. I knew I wanted it there, but it turned out better than I ever could have imagined. Better to be lucky than good, I say all the time. So hopefully you learned something from this. We got one more scene to go to, so let's head off to that and see what we get. All right, so we're here at our last scene. This is a kind of a heavy traffic street. There's a lot of, there's trucks here. There's a lot of things going on around us, but we're running light. So we've got one light, and we've got an octabox with us. It's gonna be handheld. And what I wanted to do was take advantage again of the ambient light in this scene. There's all these string lights, but how do we get rid of the cars that are parked? How do we get rid of the traffic? All things that don't lend to a good shot. I don't wanna look at a picture and see a car from 20 years ago, right? So that's what we're doing in the scene. I'm gonna pick a great angle so that I get rid of all that background traffic. I'm gonna shoot in a shallow depth of field. So I got an 85mm lens, and we're gonna use just one light. Let's see what we can create. So that is a wrap for this scene, and as you can see, we got incredible images. We were able once again to balance the light with the ambient of the scene, and that's what makes this shot so exciting. But I got a little adventurous on this. What I wanted to do is see if this light could keep pace with a high frame rate, and we did that. And so we had her walk through the street. We were able to get some incredible shots of her walking. We did not miss a single shot, and that is impressive to be able to do. So balance that scene. You saw two different shots that we produced tonight, and we were able to balance with the ambient, one in an alley, one using some of the street lights in the background. But the real question is, which one did you like better? So sound off below, let us know which shot resonated with you best, and most importantly, get out there, practice, and make something epic.